Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Erica VB, and this is Sincerely Spirit, episode 9. And in this episode, we're going to talk all about manifestation, and how your energy affects outcomes of what it is that you're desirous of manifesting or working on in your manifestation plan. So last week we went over energy and how important it is to understand how your energy moves, what you're showcasing to your physical environment, projecting out, if you will, into your environment, and the universe, and what you're showing the universe, kind of who you are and what you want to be and how you're going to get there. Okay. So there's 2 recommendations that I have for books to read to gain some knowledge in. These are books that I have read and or am working through. So the first book is called The Power of Auras by Susan Shmusky, DD. I hope I said the last name correctly. So this is the first one. This is called The Power of Auras. Like I said, this is see or sense auras, develop spiritual self-defense and protection, increase power, balance, focus, and clarity, heal and release dense vibrations, release attachments and addictions, cut psychic ties and cords, and much more can be found in this book. There is a lot of information. Take it slow when you're reading, make a lot of notes, walk away from it for a couple days to sort of process, digest what this book is giving you. But highly recommend this book, especially before you even start to work on any type of manifestation, because you really need to understand how your energy is moving and what your energy feels like. If you have rips, holes, ties, psychic ties or cords, imbalances in your energy, it's not gonna work out well for you in your manifestations. Okay. The second book that I recommend is this here. It's called Hands of Light. It's a guide to healing through the human energy field. So not necessarily for you to go out and do healing on other people, but definitely to understand how energy moves through the human field and how you can perhaps work on healing yourself as well. This book also has a lot of information in it. It's really thick. There's a lot going on in here. So again, take your time with it. The most important thing to do is to understand yourself first and foremost, and how your energy is. Is it high vibing? Is the frequency of a higher frequency? Do you have lower vibrational energy emotions attached to your auric field? Is this what you're projecting out? And the reason why I say that the energy is so important for us to understand our own energy, because when we go to manifest, it's not just the intention that matters. It's what you put behind the intention. It's the emotions that you're putting into it. It's the feelings that you're putting into it. It's your energy. And your energy is made up of all of those things. It's made up of your emotions. It's made up of your traumas. It's made up of the positive things that have happened to you. So your subconscious is holding on to these traumas, if you will, that it has these. I always go back to, there's an episode with SpongeBob SquarePants, and I know it's ridiculous, but you know, I have boys and they all enjoyed that show. But there's an episode where they hire SpongeBob to be a waiter, and they tell him to remove everything that he knows except the card on how to be a waiter. So then you see all these little SpongeBobs in his brain removing everything from these filing cabinets. So that's kind of like what I feel like our subconscious is it has little scenario cards, if you will, that are placed in our subconscious that hold the energy of that event or situation until we move through it and work through it and release it. So if we're not healing ourselves, if we're not doing that shadow work, if we're not getting that counseling, that therapy to help us move through. So this is a bigger picture in our health, if you will, as we try to manifest things, desirous things into our environment and into this current physical existence. So again, this is why shadow work is important. We talked about shadow work 2 episodes ago. This is why getting therapy or counseling is super important for us, why cleansing ourselves, our psyche, our auric field, the energy, trying to keep a positive mindset, practicing mindfulness. These are all ways to help lift those lower vibrational energy emotions from our auric field, from our centers. We talked about the 7 main chakras, the energy centers there. And here's why it's super important, because when you go to manifest and you say to yourself, say you're looking for a love relationship, these are the qualifiers I have for the person I want in my life. They come from a big family, they have a big heart, they listen to a certain type of music, they drive a certain kind of car. Yes, you can be that specific if you want to. However, if you're not ready to come to the table and meet that person at the same level they're going to come to you at, it's not going to work. The manifestation, yeah, sure, here's the person. But once it comes, it's not going to be the ultimate goal or most optimal event or situation that's happening, because you're not prepared to receive the most optimal person, place, event, situation into your life yet. So this is why it's super important that you do the work on yourself. So say you want everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people talk about manifesting more money in their checking account or a better job. Okay, well, how are you preparing yourself to receive from the universe that optimal goal? Okay, what are you showing to the universe, not just in physicality? So, okay, I'm searching for new jobs. These new jobs will bring better opportunities economically for me. So that's one way you're physically showing the universe. But in your subconscious, do you believe that you deserve to have that job? Do you believe that you can handle that job? Do you believe that that job can work in the environment that you're in? So if you don't believe those things, you're not going to get the most optimal outcome in what you're trying to manifest. Yes, opportunities will come. Yes, doors will open. Are you going to move through them, and are they the most optimal in the whatever it is you're trying to manifest? So what I'm saying to you is that what you project out into the universe, and this is a culmination of, this is your energy that you're projecting out to the universe, and it's a culmination of your consciousness and your subconsciousness in conjunction with what your soul desires or what your soul came here to do. Okay, so you have your physical presence and you have your spiritual presence. When they come together and they are vibing at a higher frequency, you are more likely to receive that optimal outcome in what it is you're manifesting. So, super important, I'm probably sounding like a broken record at this point, for you to do the work on yourself, to do that healing, to understand why those negative thoughts are in your head. So again, example, if you're saying, well, economically, I need to be stronger. My checkbook needs to have more money in it. So I'm going to sit every day and meditate on the universe providing me more money. Okay. Well, what are you doing on the inside? How are you working on your relationship with money? How do you see that happening? If you came from an impoverished family or from a poverty-stricken neighborhood, that is sitting in your subconscious. That's how you grew up. What is your relationship with money in terms of this perception? Do you always feel like you don't have enough? Because if you always feel like you don't have enough, guess what? This is what the universe is receiving from you. So that's what the universe is going to give to you, okay? You're putting out there that it's never enough. Well, that's what the universe thinks you want, so that's what the universe is going to give you. The universe is a neutral environment. It's not positive nor negative, it's neutral. It doesn't see things as positive or negative, right or wrong, if you will. So again, super important for you to work on what your thought processes are, the traumas that you have that are buried inside your subconscious, the negativity that perhaps seeps its way into your consciousness, and then what you're really feeling in your heart, which is the connection to your soul and what your soul really came here to learn and do and experience. Not everybody's here to be a millionaire, but not everybody's here to be Saint Teresa either. So again, really super important to understand your consciousness, your subconsciousness, how you're processing things, how you're feeling things, what your ego is versus what your soul is. All of these things are really important. Energetic field is super important. You could be thinking that you're super, super positive and then have these negative influences around you, which are tapping and zapping into your auric field, if you will. And that can influence how you're processing things as well. So this is why it's important to keep your energetic field as cleansed as possible, as clear as possible, which requires us to work on ourselves, not only to protect from the outside world, but to protect from our own lower vibrational energy emotions, okay? So that's why it's super important when you're manifesting. So when people say, well, I'm sitting every day in mindfulness and I'm exploring these opportunities and nothing's coming to me, or it's minimal, or it's taking forever for me to manifest, please understand, one, the universe gives us what we need, not what we want, usually. Understand too that the universe is not a linear time frame. So doesn't mean like we are the only existence, my understanding, we are the only existence that has linear time. So we go forward. The universe doesn't work that way. It can go forward, backwards, up, down, whatever. It's not linear. So when we say 6 months from now for the universe, that could be 2 years from now. When we say 3 months ago for the universe, that could have been a year ago. So hopefully that kind of explains the linear time thinking, if you will. So the universe only can give you what you put into it, what you show it that you're ready for, what you're willing to receive. So if there is any doubt that your manifestation isn't going to work, it's not going to work. So if you're walking around and you're like, well, I'm sitting and I'm doing all of these things and I'm in this high vibe and I'm being positive, why isn't this working? This manifestation isn't coming to fruition. You just told the universe that this manifestation isn't coming to fruition. Keep the faith, keep the hope, stay positive, and remember that sometimes it's not your pathway to take, and sometimes it's not yours to have. That's not what your soul was here for. It's not in alignment with you. So you're going to hear people talk about alignment. So sometimes when we want to manifest millions of dollars into our checking account, it's not in alignment with what our soul came here to experience. So we can think all we want, intent all we want, manifest as much as we want. But if it's not necessarily within the alignment of what our soul purpose came here for, our soul's soul purpose, I kind of like that, came here for, it 9 times out of 10 isn't going to happen. There has to be an experience attached to it for a learning lesson that your soul came here to experience. Now, when people talk about also with keeping that in mind, there's the idea of free will, and I absolutely believe in free will. When I do oracle readings, I don't necessarily give future predictions because I believe in free will. We can change our destiny, but I like to think of it as a spider web. So, when you look at a spider web, it's got many different tendrils, if you will, that are attaching to whatever it built its spider web off of. That's sort of what I see. So in the center where the spider would sit is where you are. It's where your soul is, where you are, okay? And then you have all these tendrils around you. So you have all of these pathways to get to the end destination or to get to where your soul came here to learn from, okay? The experience, the lessons that your soul came to evolve and transform from however you want to say it. So that's sort of like how free will works. So the end game may be the same, but how we get to that end game will and can change depending on the choices, which is the free will that we make here in our physical existence. So if your end game isn't to be a millionaire, you probably will struggle throughout your life, especially if you have the mindset that a millionaire is what's going to make you happy. You're going to struggle throughout your life in a lower vibrational energy emotion, because you're going to think that the universe doesn't love you. You're going to think that Source, God, Jesus, Buddha, whoever it is that you follow, is out to hurt you or to demean you or to keep you, keep the man down, if you will, however you want to put it. But your soul chose to evolve and transform in a certain way, and that pathway is not going to teach you what the soul wants to learn for this lifetime or for this existence. You have many choices in terms of learning the lessons for the soul here in the physical world, which is that's your free will. But ultimately, it all leads to the transformation or evolution of what your soul wanted to learn in this lifetime. And say you can't get past that breaker point or learn that lesson, and you just keep making the same choices over and over and over, just in different situations or events, and so you don't really get the lesson. You may come back and repeat what your soul wants to learn, but try it a different way. Maybe you won't be the same person, or you'll grow up in a different environment, etc. Maybe the next time you'll come back as a millionaire. Maybe that really was what you needed to evolve and learn. But your soul didn't want that for that experience or for this lifetime. That's a bigger concept, but please understand, manifestation comes from the intention of what you want, a desired outcome. However, it doesn't always mean that you're going to get it the way that you want it. The universe will provide it to you the way that aligns with you. Remember that if you are not doing the work to heal your shadows, to address your traumas, the things that are sitting in your subconscious, you will not get optimal manifestation outcomes. Okay, that's just the way the energy works. That's just the way it moves back and forth. Remember that time is not linear to the universe. It is only linear to us. We must keep the faith. We must keep hope, and we should be staying as positive as possible. I would also suggest that we don't manifest if we are in a state of desperation, fear, anxiety, those sort of lower vibrational energy emotions, because it's not going to be conducive to a positive manifesting outcome. So lots of work to do before you even set the stage to start to manifest, because it's not just physical. It's not just saying the intention and then doing the physicality of it to move towards the outcome of what you want manifested. It's also working within yourself. It's what you believe, and that's really what the universe is going to sort of latch onto, that belief system, if you will. One thing in witchcraft that they really understand is the manipulation of energy. And they really understand that making the intention, just saying it, isn't the only important part, and it's not even the most important part. The actual belief in what you're saying is one of the key ingredients to a spell working properly, just like knowing that the spell is going to work properly, like thoroughly, 100%, from skin to bone to heart to soul. Know that spell is going to work. It's the same idea with the manifestation. You have to know and believe with your heart, your soul, your body, mind, body, soul, that this is going to work. And if you want to be detailed and put in a list of what you want, I have done that before and it manifested. And I was like, oh, I probably should have either added more into it or just let the universe give me what it believed I needed, because the universe knows more than I do. It's got infinite knowledge where my puny brain doesn't. But so you can be as detailed as you want to be. Most people will suggest, though, that work in manifestation, work with energy, sort of leave it open and flexible. The universe will give you what you need, okay? How you need it. And sometimes we can miss out on opportunities or things that are sort of right in front of us because it doesn't fit the mold that we thought it should be in. Okay. So keep that in mind as well. So if you have any questions, you want further exploration, please know I do have a spiritual guidance sessions. You can go to my website, ericasfrequency.com. Yeah, www.ericasfrequency.com. You can email me, ericasfrequency@gmail.com. If you'd like to book a session, spiritual curiosity and exploration is something that I'm really into, really interested in, and I love to help people grow and move during their spiritual awakening and or journey. So please reach out if you have any questions. Manifestation is huge. Manifesting is huge, and it coincides with your energy, and your energy is sort of the umbrella that everything falls under. So, you know, you have like your spiritual awakening, and your energy probably is like sister brother to that spiritual awakening, that spiritual journey. The energy is super important for everything that you're going to do under that umbrella, including the manifestation that you want to try to attempt and or achieve. So I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of your week. I know it's super hot where I am. I'm hoping fall comes sooner rather than later, which, you know, don't shoot the messenger. I would like fall, probably winter better. But again, everybody have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys next week, where I think we're going to talk about fairies, dragons, portals, etc., all those kinds of out of the box, outside the box, if you will, subject matters under the spiritual tab. All right. Peace out.